Welcome to TopSolid 7. In this video, we're going to introduce you to multi-part machining within TopSolid 7 Cam. We're also going to show you how to take advantage of some automation like subroutines within the post-processing. Let's have a look. To begin with, I already have a project set up. I have the part that I'm going to machine, and just to illustrate some fun things about TopSolid 7, by middle mouse button click right there, it turns us into a live view. So this is the part that we're going to machine. It's just a nice simple little like electrode or something. You can see that I have it prepared for stock already. So there's my part with the stock model and everything. I even have gone as far as creating my custom electrode holder. So this is going to be prepared and set up on our machine. It's a homegrown holder. You can see here in my template that I have the 4 holders in here. So we can middle mouse on there. If I zoom out, you can see this is a Morisaki machine, and I have put my 4 holders right on that table. So that's basically it. So what I'm going to do now is going to go ahead and load the part onto a fixture, program it up, pattern the parts, post-process using subroutines. Here we go. So I'll go to my machining folder, and I'm going to right mouse button click and say New Machining. Here I'll choose my Morisaki Trodes template. Templates are useful for starting up more quickly. So now that we're fired up here, I can give this a name. I'll call it Trode Machining, why not? We'll save it. I'm going to send my project over to there. And actually, what I want to do is grab my rib electrode stock prep file, drag and drop it in. I'll say validate that. Beautiful. And now you can see the parts here. I'm going to close out of the constraint positioning and choose frame on frame. Here I had a published frame that I can put to my frame on my fixture. So my positioning is complete. I can exit out of there. TopSolid Cam does the rest of it for me. It tells the CAM software what the stock and what the finish is, and you can see it even created my work origin for me as well. So now we're going to do some machining. To simplify things for right now, I'm going to turn off the display of my machine and fixtures so I can just focus on programming. I'll select this face, right mouse button click, and choose end milling, why not? And here, I'm going to select a tool. You can see I have some tools preloaded as part of my template, and these are tools I commonly use for machining these types of parts, so why not have them preloaded in a template? I'm going to go right to 0 there. I'll go right to 0 there. And I'm going to save my maximum axial depth of cut for this tool. I'll say is a 1/16th, just for fun. Okay. I'm also going to set my cutting conditions just for giggles and grins. Why not? And validate. No big deal. There's our tool path. Cool thing, obviously, is I didn't have to create any boundary conditions or anything. I just machined off that face. Now, next what I'd like to do is turn that on, and I want to take that same tool path and drag and drop it down to this face. So I held Control and I dragged and dropped it. Now, because this is really open on the 3 sides, the software thought we wanted to do this as an open pocketing. Well, that's not really what I had intended. What I had intended was to go across the whole part. So I'm just going to double click to edit. I'll come up here to my quick settings balloon, double click on the machining strategy, and switch it to facing. Like that, you can see that it's machining everywhere at that Z level now. Perfect. And then just because I can, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that down to that face. And what you're going to see is that the software has adapted it once again, the toolpath, to the new sets of geometry. So that's pretty cool. We have all of these various toolpaths made, and made very, very, very quickly. From here, I'd like to go ahead and start finishing. So I'm just going to right mouse button click and choose 3D finishing. I'll start by picking a tool. In this case, I'm just going to use a 1/4 inch ball. That's perfect. Maybe I'll go to my geometry tab, go to bounds. Now I could dynamically drag this bound, okay? But I could also come here and just choose a point and say, you know what, go to there. That's perfect. Next, I'm going to set my kind of machining that I want to do. Right now, this is a raster pass. That doesn't make much sense. We can do constant step over, but I think constant Z would be the best. I'm going to say let's do this to, how about a 1/10 scallop height and even a 1/10 tolerance. And let's go into our settings now, check a couple things. I'm going to turn on scallop optimization. That's fine. I'll say the smallest move I want to allow is 2.5 thousandths. Under strategy, we can play with this stuff if we want, but unimportant. I will optimize rapids if we need them to be optimized. We'll say 100 thousandths. I will change my lead in and lead out to be tangent. Oops. There we go. And from there, I'm going to do spiral machining. And what that means is it's going to be a constant Z move, but it's going to do it in a continual helical move. We'll validate. And you can see it's calculating really, really quickly. And we are done in just another few seconds here. There we go. And here's our simulation. So that's just showing you a nice tight tolerance going really fast as well. And if I turn all that on, and if we look straight at this thing, and I zoom up, you'll see that it's actually going down continuously in Z, maintaining scallop height. So you can see at the peaks here, it's adding more toolpath where more toolpath is actually required. So that's pretty cool. So from here, I'm just going to hit save. And we're going to go ahead and lay out our pattern. So let's turn that off. And next I'm going to turn my machine on. And I'll go to Operation and go to Repetition. I would like to repeat this part. The pattern I'd like to use is the same pattern I used on my fixtures. So if you notice when I hover on my fixtures, it highlights with some red dots. Those red dots means that there is a pattern there, and I'm just simply borrowing the same pattern. And like that, I can validate. And it's just going to run quick analysis on it to make sure everything is good. And like that, our pattern is done. We have a couple more steps to take, but you can already see how quick and easy it was to pattern the same part through multiple fixtures. So from here, what we need to do is we have to tell the system which is G54, G55, so forth, so on. So let's go to our WCS Origins Manager. Up pops a lovely little window, and I'm just going to go to the origin here, right mouse button click, edit origin, choose the one I want it to be. That's 54. I'm going to do the same thing to the next origin. That'll be 55. Origin 3 will be 56. And origin 4 will be 57. Perfect. Let's go ahead and click out of here. You can see 54, 55, 56, 57. So from here, all we need to do is post-process. So let's go do that. So we're going to go up to Operations, Generate ISO. Here I'm going to choose a post that is using subroutines. I'm going to go ahead and generate ISO code, save. Oops, that popped up on my other screen. And here we go. So here you can see my little tool list, as well as the tool call. Here's G54, the approach move, call the height offset, and the first use of the sub. G55, same sub. G56, same sub. G57, same sub, so forth, so on. And now we're using our beautiful subroutines. Picking up the tool, back to Z0 for tool change. Call the next tool, and repeating as necessary. And then even at the end here, we're using a special little movement to send to a special tool change position to reload parts. And then from there are all of the subs themselves. So I hope you see that maybe we do things a little bit easier than other systems, and that's the point. I mean, we buy technology and we use technology to make our lives simpler. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Check back soon for more.